Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome to another vintage fountain pen review. Today I have for you a beautiful, elegant German fountain pen. Well, when we think of German made fountain pens, it is usually Pelikan, Montblanc, Caveco, and Lamy which come to mind, but this is a vintage Diplomat fountain pen. And let me tell you, Diplomat was established in 1922. So almost 100 years of existence in the German fountain pen industry. Nowadays, you probably know Diplomat from its famous model Aero, which is designed like a Zeppelin. I don't have it yet in my collection, but I will surely buy it. This particular model you see in front of you is specific to the 1970s, and it has the old logo of the company, which I like very much. The old logo, you can see we have engraved at the end of the cap, and it resembles the Maltese cross, and I think it's wonderful. And again, we have the same logo right here engraved on the cap. This is a wonderful fountain pen made from a silver metallic element, and I have with me some interesting fountain pens from the 1970s, and I will start with probably the most famous one from Pelikan, and this material is trademarked by Pelikan and is called Silvexa. You can see it's similar to what we have on the Diplomat, but I'm sure that the material, the composition is different. I have with me two models, one ballpoint pen, and here we have Silvexa. Let me show it to you. Silvexa, and a fountain pen Pelikan 21, and again Silvexa with the same material on the cap. So this material was specific to the late 1960s and early 1970s, and it is known as nickel silver, Argentan, German silver, or alpaca, and it is an alloy composed of copper, nickel, and zinc. So, guys, this was the trend back in the 1970s. The trend was the design was to make a slim fountain pen, which could resemble a ballpoint pen. Again, the 1970s was not such a good period for the fountain pen industry, but sincerely, I love this minimalistic design. And speaking about minimalistic design, I have here the famous Lamy model, the Lamy 2000, designed in the late 1960s, and something similar. You can see this metallic clip is similar to the material and also the grip of the Lamy product. Interesting. So specific to the 1970s. And speaking of the 1970s, I have here probably the most similar model I have. Of course, also the ballpoint pen from Pelikan is quite interesting. But let's show you another fountain pen from the same period. So this is here a Lamy 26P. And if we open it, we can see that design of the 1970s with that semi-hooded nib, and also our fountain pen has, let's say, a similar semi-hooded nib. This is a steel nib on the Lamy, and on our Diplomat we have a 14 karat 585 gold nib. So enough with the comparisons. Speaking about the comparisons, let me compare it with one shape you probably all know. Let me compare it with the Mont Blanc 146 from 1983. Of course, we have a piston filler versus a cartridge filler. This is a fatter pen, the Mont Blanc, but again, the Diplomat is a slim fountain pen and quite an elegant fountain pen. Well, what can I tell you? I love this silver design of the German-made fountain pens. And let me show you the beautiful body of it. Let me start with the cap. So on the cap we have engraved Diplomat, the logo at that time. And let me tell you, if you search on the internet, there's not a lot of information about the history of the Diplomat brand. But I've identified this logo, which resembles the Maltese cross. And also in my collection, I have another logo from the 1990s, and of course, the modern logo of Diplomat. So based on its design, I think that this is a product from the 1970s, when the logo of Diplomat was this Maltese cross. Again, Diplomat. So I don't know the model because it's not identified on the body. So I will call this the Diplomat Silver. Interesting, the clip is not from a matte silver like the rest of the body, but it is shiny silver. Again, a metallic clip, quite a springy clip and quite efficient. And again, the cap ends in this also shiny silver metal, which has engraved on it the same beautiful logo. It's interesting that at the end we have a matching, let's say, ending, shiny ending, so it has a symmetry. The design is quite symmetric. You can see a beautiful piece, guys. Let me tell you what I paid for it. Of course, I bought it second hand. I bought it from a seller and I paid 250 lays including the shipment, or around 51.31 euros or 51.17 American dollars. So I think I paid a good price for such a beauty, with fitted with a beautiful gold nib. Speaking about the gold nib, guys, the cap is pressure fit. And what do you have? What do we have here? We have an interesting material. I'm not so sure it's macrolon, but it has similarities. It's definitely a kind of plastic, and it has some striations on it. Let me zoom for you to see better. That gives a nice grip to this particular fountain pen. But right before the beginning of the nib, we can see the pattern is interrupted by the shiny piece of plastic. At the end, right above the grip section, we have OB, so it means we have a beautiful oblique broad nib. And it seems like an oblique broad nib if we look at the ending of this interesting 14 karat 585 gold nib. No breathing hole, and quite nice. If I unscrew the barrel, which by the way is quite interesting because it has another part of that plastic material that forms the grip section. We can see that we can fit on this particular model an ink cartridge, and I'm pretty sure that it is an international standard ink cartridge. I hope it is, because I will do the writing sample and I really want to see how this beautiful oblique broad nib writes. So guys, let me see if we can pose this fountain pen. Yes, definitely it can be posted, but metal on metal, it definitely will leave scratches in time, so better if you use it unkept. So I will leave its dimensions on the screen, and after that we will do the writing sample. So let me cap it and put it right over here, guys, and I will try now to change the angle of the camera before I will do the writing sample. So bear with me for a second. I think I will take this. Okay, and now let me see if I can level it. Yes, this should be quite nice. Okay, so for the writing sample, guys, let me put aside those Lamy models and those Pelican models. Okay, I will zoom out a little bit, and I have here my little agenda. Okay, and yes, I will write with it right over here. So I said that it probably uses international ink cartridges, and I have a pack here from Schneider, and I hope they fit. This is another German producer, and let me see how I can open this refill. Yes, I have one here, and you can see thermically engraved on it we have Schneider. Okay, let me see if this Schneider model cartridge international size fits our fountain pen. So let me put the cap over here. I will open it, guys, and now let's see if we can fit this. Maybe not, and I will show you guys. It's interesting that you can see probably here this is quite big and this is narrow. I will just try, but no, we don't have a match. But I recently done a review of, if I'm not mistaken, a Parker model, and I still have this ink cartridge, which you can see it has a larger hole than this simple international size cartridge, and I will try to fit this, but probably it won't fit. And yes, I am right, so it doesn't fit. Maybe it needs some special ink cartridges design for the DIPLOMAT, and I don't have them. But I will try to do the writing sample by dipping this fountain pen in ink. Let me put back the ink cartridge here and the Schneider ink cartridge, and I will try to do the writing sample. So for the writing sample, guys, I have here Faber-Castell pink ink. I've written here dark because it was contaminated with darker shade of ink with some blue ink, but you will see that this pink is a nice shade of pink. So let me put it right here, guys, Okay guys, so I will open this bottle. I will shake it a little bit. Now I will put back the barrel. So I hope that this feeder will hold enough ink for us to do a writing sample. Again, let me open it. I will put the pen, dip the pen in ink. Okay, and I will try to remove the excess of ink from the grip section. So like this, guys, from the grip section, only from the grip section, because I want to see how this will write. Okay, again a little dip in ink. Okay, and now I am ready for the writing sample. So this, guys, is a Diplomat, a beautiful Diplomat. I will call it the Diplomat Silver, a Diplomat Silver from the 1970s, made in Germany, and one of the reasons I bought this fountain pen is the fact that I saw the oblique broad nib. So the oblique broad nib inscription. So we have an oblique broad gold nib, a beautiful white gold nib, a 14 karat 585 nib. And let me tell you, it is a gorgeous nib. I simply love the oblique nibs, and this is definitely an interesting nib. Let me see how flexible this nib is, and I can't say we have a flexible nib, so no flex to it. But definitely a beautiful nib. It is quite a juicy one. Look at this, quite nice. Let me now see if we have some line variance. So this is no pressure, guys, and here is a little bit of pressure, but no visible line variance. Usually the oblique ones are not suited for signatures, but being a juicy nib, it should do a signature quite nice. So yes, I think you can do a decent signature with this fountain pen. Let me dip it a little again in the ink, and now let me see. So signature, yes, let me see if this can reverse write. So reverse writing. Well, I'm quite impressed, guys. In reverse writing, it writes like an M in comparison with the oblique broad. No scratches and no loss of ink flow. Definitely it can reverse write. So again, for the famous fox, let me dip it again in ink. Okay, guys, and now I will try to write as large as I can. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So what can I say to you guys? A wonderful and elegant, interesting pen. It's simply I love this design of the 1970s, those narrow fountain pens with this brushed silver look to them. I always found them elegant in combination with this interesting plastic. I think that they are really, really interesting. And this brush material, it resembles a lot with the macrolon on the Lamy, but I simply love this pattern. Of course, I don't have a Lamy 2000 in brushed steel because I know it is a version in brushed steel. Maybe someday I will have enough money to add one to my collection. But simply, I love the German design of this period, and look also at the pelican. Maybe I don't know, but definitely the Silvexa material invented by Pelican had a role in shaping the design of that period of time. So, guys, this was my review of a wonderful, wonderful German piece, a vintage diplomat piece. I simply love this Maltese logo that the diplomat firm had back then. I think it's wonderful. I'm not so sure why they changed the logo, but in my point of view, one of the coolest logos in the fountain pen world, in my point of view, definitely an interesting cross. So, guys, this was my review. I hope you've enjoyed it. I want to wish you to have a nice day, guys, wherever you are. I hope you've enjoyed my review of this little Diplomat German fountain pen from the 1970s. If you've enjoyed this review, please subscribe to my channel to support my activity. I will see you in the next episode. Till then, bye bye, guys, and God bless you all.